Begone, foul gremlins, begone. Maggot, a horror story told in serial form. Part 6. Spring break, 1973. Saturday afternoon. We were back in position by 9:30 that night. That morning, Bag and I had headed back to my pad, where he flaked out on the couch and rocked the foundations of the building with his raucous snoring. The noise kept me awake for a long time, but eventually I passed out from sheer exhaustion. It was well afternoon when I finally woke up. We spent the afternoon conducting a tour of the town, which only took about 1 hour. It's not a big town. The purpose of the exercise was to see if anyone had us under surveillance, and the answer was not what we thought. The old black Buick was nowhere in evidence, and we saw no sign of either Uncle Fester or the other guy. But after a while, we began to realize we were being followed by Jimbo, the village idiot. In the Centennial Library, he sat Buddha-style behind one of the concrete ashtrays in the entranceway, smoking butts right out of the sand. Later, when we came strolling out of Tim's, Jimbo was on his way in. But we knew for sure he was after us when we took a stroll all the way out to the end of the pier. "Are you sure this is the smartest thing to do?" I asked Bag. "If we really are being followed, they got us trapped out here." "Just keep walking, eh?" "Okay." At the very end of the pier, the white lighthouse sat atop a concrete base, which had been painted fire engine red for visibility. Kind of like a red velvet cake with a humongous white candle on top. Anyone on the far, that is, the lakeside of the concrete base, was invisible to anyone on the shore, and as soon as we reached it, Bag grabbed me and pulled me out of sight. "Now, let's see," he muttered. I knew better than to ask, but waited patiently until he said, "There!" "What?" "What?" "Right side of the park, near where all that kiddie stuff is. Have a look, but don't let him see you." Given our general situation, I began to feel nervous. What am I supposed to be looking for without being seen? "Jimbo, that Bag was following us." "How can you see him from that far?" I started to say, but then I made out the idiot's small, scruffy figure in his familiar dark blue winter coat, leaning against the frost fence and staring out towards the lake and towards our hiding place. "I wonder, is he following us on his own, or did someone put him up to it?" Bag muttered. "Maybe he likes playing detective too." When Bag didn't take the bait, I added, "How are we going to lose him? If we walk back, he'll just hide somewhere and follow us as we go past." "We can't stay here." "Damn right we can't. It's too bloody cold. It's more than just that." Bag was already on the move, so I had no option but to follow. He said, "We'll just have to try and shake him, that's all. I'm thinking the library. Once we get inside, peel like mad down the back stairs to the parking lot, and then double back while he's still inside." It might work," I said skeptically. "We can hide in the air shaft at the side of the building." "Bet he knows it's there." "You got a better idea?" "Nope." Jimbo had vanished by the time we got back to the park, but I hadn't expected to see him if he was indeed shadowing us. We hurried down Navy as quickly as we could to maximize our getaway time once we got inside the library. But we still got stuck by a red light at Lakeshore. Suddenly, Bag began to frantically wave his arms. "I don't think flying will work," I said dryly. But before I got a reply, A gray Plymouth Duster. That's a gray Plymouth Duster. Had drawn up to the curb, and Bag had already pulled open the passenger door and was yelling over his shoulder, "Shut up and get in the back." I did what I was told, and it wasn't until I was sprawled across the back seat, the vehicle already in motion, that I realized I was enjoying the mobile hospitality of Rental Babe. Her real name was Amy, or so I thought. Amy, yeah, it was Amy. Everyone called her Rental Babe, not because she was available for rent. Well, anyways, I don't think she was. But because her old man owned a franchise which rented cars, and she was in the habit of constantly driving one of the rentals around town. Alone. Always by herself. So why had she stopped to pick us up? Bag caught my eye, and looking out the window, I could see Jimbo running after us, bobbing up and down like some jerky marionette, only to stop and stare at us dejectedly as the duster rolled away down Lakeshore. "Where to?" asked Rental Babe. "Or were you just trying to get away from that guy?" No flies on her, I thought, but out loud, sorta, I mumbled, "You can drop us anywhere." Bag flashed me a condescending smile and said to Rental Babe, "Where are you going?" "I'm just driving around. I like to drive." "Well," said Bag, with his best attempt at charm, "if you feel like company, we'll go with you." Taking her eyes off the road, Rental Babe looked at us with an amused expression, and I noticed for the first time that she had lovely gray-blue eyes. Smiling, she said, "Let's see where we end up." The duster traveled west, and we were quickly away from the downtown and into the realm of stately mansions, hidden behind walls and by thick hedges. I sat in the back like a lump, feeling tongue-tied and unable to think of anything to say that wasn't trite or stupid. Rental Babe projected an aura of aloofness, inscrutable, as if she was a spectator at the panorama of life, and found it all slightly ludicrous. I'm sure she found us ludicrous, and probably not slightly. We wound up in the industrial wasteland of Clarkson, pulling into the lakeside park, where we could sit and watch the waves marching towards the shore. The wind was starting to pick up, and each time a swell would smack the shore, a cascade of loose sand and pebbles would tumble back into the surf. We stared at it in silence, the endless repetition of water and sand mesmerizing us all, until Amy broke our hypnotic trance by asking, "So why were you trying to get away from that guy? Jimbo, right?" "He was following us," Bag admitted. "Unfortunately, the back of the car seat prevented me from kicking him." "Why would he do that?" she asked, with that damned Mona Lisa smile. But the best response I could come up with was to mumble, 'Cause he's a wanker." "He's a wanker?" Yeah." "Well, there's no shortage of them around here."